Section 14 of My First Summer in the Sierra. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. My First Summer in the Sierra by John Muir. Read by Adrian Pretzelis. August 22. Clouds none. Cool west wind. Slight hoarfrost on the meadows. Carlo is missing. Have been seeking him all day. In the thick woods between camp and the river, among tall grass and fallen pines, I discovered a baby fawn. At first it seemed inclined to come to me, but when I tried to catch it and got within a rod or two, it turned and walked softly away, choosing its steps like a cautious, stealthy, hunting cat. Then, as if suddenly called or alarmed, it began to buck and run like a grown deer, jumping high above the fallen trunks, and was soon out of sight. Possibly its mother may have called it, but I did not hear her. I don't think fawns ever leave the home thicket or follow their mothers until they are called or frightened. I am distressed about Carlo. There are several other camps and dogs not many miles from here, and I still hope to find him. He never left me before. Panthers are very rare here, and I don't think any of these cats would dare touch him. He knows bears too well to be caught by them, and as for Indians, they don't want him. August 23. Cool, bright day, hinting Indian summer. Mr. Delaney has gone to the Smith Ranch on the Tuolumne below Hetch Hetchy Valley, 30 or 40 miles from here, so I'll be alone for a week or more. Not really alone, for Carlo has come back. He was at a camp a few miles to the northwestward. He looked sheepish and ashamed when I asked him where he had been and why he had gone away without leave. He is now trying to get me to caress him and show signs of forgiveness. A wondrous wise dog. A great load is off my mind. I could not have left the mountains without him. He seems very glad to get back to me. Rose and crimson sunset, and soon after the stars appeared, the moon rose in most impressive majesty over the top of Mount Dana. I sauntered up the meadow in the white light. The jet-black tree shadows were so wonderfully distinct and substantial looking, I often stepped high in crossing them, taking them for black charred logs. August 24. Another charming day, warm and calm soon after sunrise, clouds only about 0.01. Faint silky cirrus wisps scarcely visible. Slight frost, Indian summerish, the mountains growing softer in outline and dreamy looking, their rough angles melted off apparently. Sky at evening with fine, dark, subdued purple, almost like the evening purple of the San Joaquin plains in settled weather. The moon is now gazing over the summit of Mount Dana. Glorious, exhilarating air. I wonder if in all the world there is another mountain range of equal height blessed with weather so fine and so openly kind and hospitable and approachable. August 25. Cool as usual in the morning, quickly changing to the ordinary, serene, generous warmth and brightness. Toward evening the west wind was cool and sent us to the campfire. Of all nature's flowery, carpeted mountain halls, none can be finer than this glacier meadow. Bees and butterflies seem as abundant as ever. The birds are still here, showing no sign of leaving for winter quarters, though the frost must bring them to mind. For my part, I should like to stay here all winter, or all my life, or even all eternity. August 26. Frost this morning. All the meadow grass and some of the pine needles sparkling with irised crystals, flowers of light, large picturesque clouds, craggy like rocks upiled on Mount Dana, reddish in colour like the mountain itself. The sky, for a few degrees around the horizon, is pale purple, into which the pines dip their spires with fine effect. Spent the day as usual looking about me, watching the changing lights, the ripening autumn colours of the grass, seeds, late blooming gentians, asters, goldenrods, parting the meadow grass here and there, and looking down into the underworld of mosses and liverworts, watching the busy ants and beetles and other small people at work and play, like squirrels and bears in a forest, studying the formation of lakes and meadows, moraines, mountain sculpture, making small beginnings in these directions, charmed by the serene beauty of everything. The day has been extra cloudy, though bright on the whole, for the clouds were brighter than common. Clouds about 0.15, which in Switzerland would be considered extra clear. Probably more free sunshine falls on this majestic range than on any other in the world I've ever seen or heard of. It has the brightest weather, brightest glacier-polished rocks, the greatest abundance of irised spray from its glorious waterfalls, the brightest forest of silver firs and silver pines, more starshine, moonshine, and perhaps more crystal shine than any other mountain chain, and its countless mirror lakes, having more light poured into them, glow and spangle most. And how glorious the shining, after the short summer showers, and after frosty nights when the morning sunbeams are pouring through the crystals on the grass and pine needles. And how ineffably spiritually fine is the morning glow on the mountain tops and the alpenglow of evening. Well may the Sierra be named not the snowy range, but the range of light. August 27. Clouds only 0.05. Mostly white and pink cumuli over the Huffman Spur toward evening. Frosty morning. Crystals grow in marvellous beauty and perfection of form these still nights, every one built as carefully as the grandest, holiest temple, as if planned to endure for ever. Contemplating the lace-like fabric of streams outspread over the mountains, we are reminded that everything is flowing, going somewhere, animals and so-called lifeless rocks, as well as water. Thus the snow flows fast or slow in grand beauty-making glaciers and avalanches, the air in majestic floods carrying minerals, plant leaves, seeds, spores, with streams of music and fragrance. Water streams carrying rocks both in solution and in the form of mud particles, sand, pebbles and boulders. Rocks flow from volcanoes like water from springs, and animals flock together and flow in currents modified by stepping, leaping, gliding, flying, swimming, etc., while the stars go streaming through space, pulsed on and on forever like blood globules in nature's warm heart. August 28. The dawn a glorious song of colour, sky absolutely cloudless, a fine crop of hoarfrost, warm after 10 o'clock. The gentians don't mind the first frost, though their petals seem so delicate. They close every night as if going to sleep, and awake fresh as ever in the morning sun-glory. The grass is a shade browner since last week, but there are no nipped, wilted plants of any sort as far as I have seen. Butterflies and the grand host of smaller flies are benumbed every night, but they hover and dance in the sunbeams over the meadows before noon, with no apparent lack of playful, joyful life. Soon they must fall like petals in an orchard, dry and wrinkled, not a wing of all the mighty host left to tingle the air. Nevertheless, new myriads will arise in the spring, rejoicing, exulting, as if laughing cold death to scorn.